Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered. The previous episode was it's pretty interesting. It really was. We had quite the development between Shirou and Saber there at the end, and somehow, yet again, we escaped danger from a foe that should have just easily killed us. Like, very much so. But Shirou is a bag of surprises, if you will. He is just full of the unknown. He is the opposite of a garbage piñata that you can get at like a grocery store or whatever. That is a terrible comparison, but before we jump into this video, there's a couple things I want to talk about. One, I addressed the H scene that came up in Chapter 11, but did not actually come up here in the remastered variation. So, I guess people were telling me that, that existed, but in this rendition of the story, it doesn't. So, I guess that should not be really interpreted as anything. It didn't happen, therefore, it didn't happen. So, I thought it would have been funny if it kind of did, and it was just implied or whatever, but, you know what, whatever. If people are saying that it didn't happen and it happened, I guess there's better things to focus on, but it would have been cool if he did, It would have been cool if, like, in the craziest of circumstances, life or death, Shirou, you must have sex. I'm just saying that would have been pretty funny, but not the end of the world. The other thing is I am on another temporary setup. So if you guys didn't know, the last 10, 11, or 12 episodes, 27 onward, to this point have been done on my Steam Deck. I just did not have my computer with me. I still don't, but I am back on a Windows computer, so things are a little bit more manageable with what I'm familiar with. I'm still going to be having to not necessarily cut corners or whatever, but my editing and my resources and how I may sound will be a little off. But fingers crossed that I get back to my regular setup very soon. Bear with me, we'll get there. Just hopefully this works, because I didn't really do a test recording. I am using my settings that I remember in my mind, which could be very detrimental, and I might just be wasting an hour of my life here. Either way, it'll be funny. Maybe for you guys, not for me. Let's get into it. When I awake, the sun is already up. Oh, by the way, since I am recording back on a regular Windows setup and something that's a lot more powerful than basically something like a laptop, I am able to record in 1440p again, because beforehand with the Steam Deck, I think that was kind of pushing it, so I was just recording 1080p, and now I can do 1440 again. Not that it matters, this visual novel probably does not render in 1440p, but the option is there. My room is dimly lit. I feel like it's still last night, but I quickly shake my head to banish the thought. It's no longer Valentine's Day. The added darkness seems to have done a lot to help my sleep-deprived body get some actual rest. A glance at the clock tells me it's past 1 in the afternoon, Jesus. I'm way past the point of oversleeping. That's a whole new day at this point. There's no answer. Saber is still next to me, slightly curled and still asleep. Once I'm not sleepy anymore, I wake up, but Saber has to recover her magical energy. Considering how much she's slept in the past, I doubt she'll wake up until after the afternoon, or until later in the afternoon, excuse me. That's crazy. I've been recording in like a smaller window, like I said, 1080p on a 1440p monitor, so I'm used to the text being slightly smaller, but now I can use the full screen again. It's great. I leave my room without waking Saber. There's no reason to wake her. The real danger is at night. There's no way Lancer or Gilgamesh will appear while the sun is still out. You never know. You really never know. So we need to come up with a plan. I don't know about Lancer, but Gilgamesh will definitely show up tonight. Given his personality and the murderous look that he gave us before he left yesterday, well, we can definitely expect him tonight. But what should we do? He has an infinite supply of noble phantasms, and one of them is stronger than Excalibur. Berserker was a hard enemy to defeat, but we still managed. We managed to find and exploit a chance to turn the tide against him. Not this guy. If he showed up now, it wouldn't even be a contest. One blow from that noble phantasm, Aya, and we are finished. There won't be an end to this if I think on my own. If Saber, Tosaka, and I can't think of a plan, then... Yeah, I think we're relying on him a bit too much. He might have a plan that could help us deal with the mess we're in. The king of heroes, Gilgamesh. Kotomine said that he would find some way to deal with this servant who survived the previous Holy Grail War. Even if we can't think of a countermeasure, Kotomine might have already thought of something. Maybe. I walk up the hill. The sky is blanketed with ash-gray clouds. I've got a very bad feeling, guys. I have a feeling that Kotomine is no longer alive. I feel like Gilgamesh, who is kind of in a game of his own here. He isn't a part of this war. You know, he's probably going to just do whatever he wants. He's going to interfere. He kind of already has, but he's going to go even further, maybe. The church sits alone at the top of the hill. There's nobody there and not a sound to be heard, not even birds chirping. Maybe that's because it's so gloomy out? The place looks more ominous than holy. It looks like an execution site. I walk up the long hill and cross the wide open square, ready to be judged for my sins and cast down into hell. God damn it, bro. Yeah, what are you talking about? Where did this come from? Besides, the church is a place where people die. Hospitals work to prolong a person's life, but plenty of people die there. Churches are like that too. In that sense, death hangs heavy over this place. The wind is cold. I pull up my collar and climb the church's stairs. Well, place your bets. Is he still alive? I step into the chapel. Just like the square, there's nobody here. He might be in the back. I pass through the pews and walk towards the altar. A dry sound echoes through the chapel. The building is probably designed to make sounds echo, but the sound of my lonely footsteps is haunting in this huge empty space. I call softly to the priest. This is ridiculous. If I want an answer, I should be shouting. He's probably in the back, so he won't hear me unless I shout. But I don't. I keep quiet, tiptoeing my way to the back of the church. Am I doing this so that I don't mess with the solemn air of the chapel? Or because I feel like if I'm spotted, I'll be surrounded by things I don't understand, and then maybe get beheaded for defiling God or something? I feel like Kotomine does enough of that, so I think we're in the clear, all things considered. I exit the chapel and head to the courtyard. I walk more quietly down the corridor. The church is like a labyrinth, and I don't know how to find Kotomine's room. My memory's kind of hazy, and I'm sure I won't be able to find it on my own. I've got a bad feeling, gang. Oh, what the fuck? There's something. Where'd the red text come from? You know, there's something about red text in visual novels. And it's not only red text. If you guys have followed me for a while, watched my other stuff, you guys kind of know some of the things that just get me. It is red text. I blame Higurashi for that one. But there's also like lifeless eyes. I've seen that in multiple visual novels. Higurashi is one of them. I think maybe Umineko? I don't remember if they utilize the blank eyes there. But blank eyes also scare me. Jump scares in general will get me. But I slow my breathing. And it's hard to breathe. My throat is parched. Give me the red text. There we go. I don't know why, but beads of sweat begin forming on my forehead though the corridor itself is chilly. I use all of my senses to try to get a feel for my surroundings. I guess the red text in Umineko itself isn't necessarily scary, but it kind of depends on the context. It could be freaky. I do so, but I'm not sure why. Why am I walking so quietly? Why is my heart beating so fast? Why? Come on. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this place? That's always been a thing. 2 words repeat over and over in my mind. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Kodamine's not here, so you have no reason to stay. You're alone. You should go home. This is a mistake. It shouldn't be so cold. It's all wrong. Go back, go back, go back. Go back for your own sake. Go back. There's nothing bad happening here. This place is... well, there's nothing happening in this church, so just go home. I feel nauseous. I think I might throw up. My intuition is always right about these kinds of things. For an untrained mage, I have a pretty good danger sense, which is why my feet don't stop. I try to get my racing heart under control, as I search for Kodamine's room. Yes, let's proceed further in. And then I run into a deep darkness. And I spot a set of stairs, In the deep shadows, I see a recess that I'd normally overlook. In it, I see a very, very narrow staircase. I shouldn't go down, but we're going to anyways. I can bet Kodamine won't be there. There won't be anyone down there. There's nothing there. There won't be any... What the fuck? What are we... Wait, what are we trying to say here? I shouldn't go in there. Oh, corpses. Corpses. Ah, okay, I get it. I can spell. My neck stiffens. I should... No, we're going. I'm fucking going, bro. I don't give a fuck. We're just gonna do it. I don't care what Shirou would do. I don't care what I would do. We're going into that fucking basement. I waited so goddamn long with Attack on Titan being an anime only. Like, I ain't waiting no longer. We go into basements. I step into the darkness. Well, this is a freaky room. It's a room made of stone. The lights are out, but the room itself feels like it's alive, and a faint blue light suffocates the whole place. No dust or cobwebs anywhere. It looks like this place sees a lot of use. I'm not sure how far back it goes. I look back up the stairs I just came down. The staircase hugs a curved wall. After descending the curved stairs, I look up and see the entrance is about 10 meters above me now. Maybe it's the absence of light, but the gently curving staircase puts me in mind of a centipede crawling its way through the cathedral. And then I notice a door. It's right at the bottom of the stairs. There's a symbol on the wall, and beyond it, a deep darkness beckons me. Do churches typically have like all these, hidden rooms or stashed away extra, anything? Almost as if it were drawing me in, I find myself stepping into the darkness. I step through what seems like an entrance of some kind. It's damp. The floor is all slimy and it's hard to walk. It reminds me of when I was cleaning the school pool. Moss covers the entire floor and it feels like my feet are sinking to the ankles into some kind of rock covering the floor. I stop suddenly. The nasty sensation beneath my feet is bad enough, but now there's a horrible stench. I pinch my nose shut. This isn't some temporary odor, it's permeated the whole room. It doesn't smell like fish or gunpowder. It smells like... I don't know what that is. Formaldehyde? I don't know what that is. Like, I actually don't even know what that is, like, chemical-wise. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know what it's for. But the chemical reek of it has stagnated in the room like thick mud. My senses seem to have been numbed from the moment I got into the basement. I'm long past tension and nervousness. And yet, my heart expands and contracts without a break, and my limbs are moving so weirdly it feels like I might wrench out every nerve in my body. And what's worse... What's that? My eyes have grown accustomed to the darkness. The darkness fades. I hear drops of water falling. It's almost like that serves as the starting bell. What I couldn't see before is suddenly clear. What are we looking at? Is this, No, I have no idea what this is. I have absolutely no idea what it is we're looking at here. What I see is an all too familiar living hell. Death lined up all in a row. Oh, so those are corpses there. Okay. Debris is piled everywhere. The stench of death covered by antiseptics. Yeah, I mean, I'll take your word for it here, Shirou. I thought this was all a lie. I want to believe none of this is real. But I can't deceive myself. I can tell in an instant, even in a room so full of corpses, not one of the bodies here is truly dead? What? They're all alive. These corpses, well, they can only be called corpses, however human they once were, are all alive. Okay, but what's the meaning of all this? Why are they still alive? How are they still alive? I look over each and every body. Not one of them has retained their original form. What crazy bullshit's been going on down here, honestly. Imagining what happened to every one of these sacrilegious forms is just too terrifying. They're more like the husks of dead trees than corpses. Some have been broken down to the point that their flesh has seeped into the cracks of the stone pavement. Some are hung against the wall and are little more than nests for bugs. Whatever their arrangement, these figures have only torsos and heads, and even those are pitifully ragged. I don't even need to know why. The corpses are being eaten away in their coffins. I don't know how it works. Each corpse is welded into a coffin, and the coffin sucks the nutrients from them. The flow of life. The coffin is extracting magical energy, souls. Little by little, the coffin sucks the life out of its prey, in such a precise amount that it neither kills it nor allows it to truly live. The wind moans through the chamber. It's almost like a single scream from the mouths of every corpse here. Their throats have long since decayed, so they can't scream for themselves anymore. By now, their throats only barely serve to carry air to their lungs. But still, the corpses scream. All but inaudible, they scream. And they must be in terrible pain, and so very afraid. They continue to shriek, unable to accept that their bodies are being eaten alive as they gradually lose their shape. Yeah, I agree. I hear a creaking sound. The coffin in front of me gurgles. It's oozing. The corpse's head is turned toward me. Something falls out of it. Its swollen lips move slightly. In a voice that isn't a voice, it asks, "Ah, man. What the fuck?" That's what it wants to know. This has gotten fucking freaky, guys. What the hell did we walk into? What is with this crazy shift here? This is insane. I'm about to scream. No, I can't even scream anymore. Where am I? I didn't say that it was in pain, didn't ask for help, just wanted to know what this horrible place is. I'm trying to understand. Did that child find themselves in this state when they came to? Before this, they must have lived a normal life, slept normally, but one day they woke up and found themselves here. The question must have come from the hope that this is just a bad dream, being trapped in a coffin, unable to move, their limbs rotting. And that's the life right there, man. My heart's breaking. This is so unimaginably horrible. But why? Oh. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. No way, dude. No way. I remember Shirou talking about the kids that, they came here to the church, and Shirou was the only one that got adopted or whatever. And he had, such a Such an odd feeling about the place, because he could have been here. He really could have. Oh my god. I've never seen any of them, but I recognize every one of the corpses. This is my first time here. I shouldn't know any of them. None of them are connected to me, so why do they act like they know me? Just like how I know them. And why are they staring at me? It's crazy that we only need one scene of a ceiling, one glimpse, and it's like that's all I needed to figure things out. And I have another question. Each of them shares something in common, unless that's just a coincidence. Why do all these corpses look like children of the same age? And then... oh. Hey, Kodamine, we were looking for you. It comes out of nowhere. A hand claps my shoulder from behind. The voice is friendly, like a greeting from a close friend. I go completely stiff with shock. I can't even turn around. Only, well, I don't have to turn around to see who's behind me. Kirie Kodomine, this church's priest, the man responsible for this little piece of hell. And the devil, the last person I should have to run into right now. Yeah, don't you know it's like 1 in the afternoon? I can't say anything. The priest's hands rest heavily on my shoulders. Yeah, a little bit. Well, the relationship was never really anywhere, so I don't think that's much of a concern. It might be for you, but not much for us. The priest sounds more cheerful than I've ever heard. As Kodamine stands there behind me, hands on my shoulders, I can tell he's smiling. It's indescribably terrifying. He sounds so cheerful, even when he's saying such horrible things. Does this man not feel anything in the face of this horror? Do I even need to comment on how horrible this is? What did he just say? And so happily?
この死体たちとお前は仲間だったと言ったのだ。形はどうあれ、お前たちはあの地獄から生還した者たちだ。血肉のつながりはなくとも、その絆は兄弟のそれに近いと思うのだが、どうかな。
Hahaha. So that's why I thought I recognized them. This is a continuation of what happened 10 years ago. I'm back in that hospital room. My head is spinning. Children who have lost their homes and parents. They were sent to an orphanage until they were adopted. But before that happened to me, Kiritsugu Emiya adopted me, so I never knew what happened to those kids afterward. I'd actually avoided finding out. The orphanage was at the church on top of the hill, and I could have gone there any time if I'd wanted to. But we didn't. But I held back. I felt it wasn't fair for me, who did get adopted, to go visit the children who still hadn't been. That's why I decided that if I were to ever meet them, it would have had to be in town. We would just bump into each other, chat idly to catch up, and most importantly, have gotten over the fire and hell. As small as our town is, I always dreamed of a reunion like that, but it never happened.
そうだ、エミヤシロ。エミヤキリツグに引き取られていなければ、お前も彼らの一員となっていた。
Crazy that he refers to the individuals here as things.
わかるか？お前はまたも一人だけで助かったのだ。周りの誰もが平等に死んでいくというのに、お前だけが輪を乱して生き延びた。どうかね。自分自身大した不平等だとは思わないか？
My heart starts beating again. I'd been frozen stiff a moment ago, but suddenly I'm able to move.
いや、私は責めているわけではないぞ。むしろお前のそれは喜ばしい。エミやシローの生き延びる才能は大したものだ。だからこそ、最後はこうして兄弟たちに再会させてやったのだ。
What? He's gonna kill us, isn't he?
お前は本当に運がいい。ここは今日限りで閉める予定だったのだが、今まで10年間、サーバントの餌にするために彼らを生かし続けたが、
Oh
それ
shit.
も終わりだ。やり始めた時ほどの濃い魂の摘出は望めぬし、もはや餌の必要もない。あとはお前とお前のサーバントを仕留めるだけになったのだからな。
Wait a fucking minute. Remember how I brought up that one time where, you know, if the Holy Grail doesn't exist, there has to be something that's allowing servants to be here, for this war to go on. Something in place of that Holy Grail. Is this it? Is this what that is? Those words shatter the restraints that had been holding me still. I move my paralyzed body. Pushing clear of the hands on my shoulders, I leap forward and whirl around to face the priest. As I face him, I put distance between us. In that moment, I feel a powerful impact from behind. That's weird. I can't breathe. Something sharp protrudes from my chest. It looks like the head of a spear. That can't be. How could a spear be growing out of my chest? Oh. Oh.
ああ、そういえば言っていなかったな。改めて紹介しよう。
Yeah, Lancer,
彼
right?
が私のサーバントだ。
You're the master of Lancer. No fucking way. I turn around. There. I see a blue-colored spearman, his weapon thrust through my chest. He jerks it free. And you know, he's been trying to kill us for a long time now. At the same time, a searing, intense pain rocks my entire body. I wonder then, if he's actually a part of this war, even so I thought he wasn't. Okay, so maybe the Holy Grail does exist. This is just how he's been gaining power. This is what's kept him and Lancer on top. So not necessarily a replacement for the Holy Grail existing, something that's actually managing this war and the servants, you know, even existing. No, this is him. This is just where he's getting his fucking power. Red splatters the floor. I collapse onto the slimy, mossy ground. I try to push myself to my feet, but my body is too heavy. I can't move. While I may not be paralyzed anymore, my body isn't capable of moving for entirely different reasons now. Hello, sweet death. The pain in my chest is unbelievable, blotting out the blood loss and dimming vision. I can't pass out. I've sustained fatal wounds numerous times. They were all bad. They all numbed my senses. But this is different. It's a fatal wound for sure, but the pain is just too intense. Oh, you can hear the fucking breathing of one of the kids. My vision distorts. Or maybe that was us, I don't know. The instant I pass out from pain, more pain jolts me back awake. I can't feel my limbs. I can't even tell where I am anymore. The only things I feel are vomit-inducing pain and the temptation to just disappear to escape this agony.
殺してはいないだろうな、ランサー。それでは今まで残していた甲斐がない。
I can only hear voices. My eyes are open, but I can't see anything.
命令は守るさ。たとえそれがいけすかねえものでもな。
Lancer's voice is devoid of emotion, but I can barely hear him.
よろしい。では支度をするぞ、ランサー。マスターの窮地はサーバントに伝わる。
ことみね、このガキそこまでは持たねえよ。死なせたくねえんなら血止めぐらいはしとけ。
不要だ。死ぬのならそれで構わん。
My mind is fading. The pain finally becomes too much, and my mind lets me faint. I stop the pain by digging into my wound. The pain resumes. I'm on the verge of sinking into oblivion, only to be dragged into a world of searing pain. I want to die. If this pain isn't going to stop, I want to die right now. I know that. I know. But if I faint here, I know I'm never going to wake up. I can't even remember what I'm doing. I feel like I'm just drifting through white-hot pain that will burn me to nothing. I grit my teeth, trying to endure the pain, and trying to cling to my own fading awareness. I can't end it all here. I can't let myself drop out of the war so easily. There's still a promise I haven't fulfilled yet. If I believe she is the most important person in the world, I can't just disappear here. There's no way this is a bad ending. There's no way. Okay. We are on the right path, I think. I don't think we've gotten an interlude while we were going on the direction towards a bad ending. To the best of my knowledge, at least. When she awakes, there's no sign of Shirou. She makes her way to the living room, thinking he might be preparing a late lunch, but she finds no sign of either Shirou or lunch.
また一人で出歩いて。出かけるのなら声をかけてと言ったのに、どうしてシローは人の話を聞かないのか。
You expect him to ever listen? Or learn? Saber sits on the veranda, muttering to herself.
まったく。一人で出歩くのが好きなのはわかりますが、これでは協力している意味がないではありませんか。
Sarah's getting a drink of water. Saber lets her feet dangle over the veranda. Eventually, she grows tired of this and she looks up pensively. The sky is an ashen gray. A heavy canopy of clouds slowly drifts overhead. She can see breaks in the cloud cover in the distance. It should clear up by nightfall. If the stars are visible, she will be able to read her fortune for tomorrow. She still remembers how to read the stars. Her mage mentor taught her long, long ago. In life, she only looked there to see whether she was taking the right path. But tonight, just this once, she decides to try to predict a certain someone's future. If possible, she hopes for a bright tomorrow. She wants to predict any dangers that might lie ahead, and learn what she needs to guide him in the proper direction. You know, if he actually does live to tonight. He's so reckless, how can she not worry about him? She won't sleep peacefully unless she can at least read the stars.
さて、問題はこの町から観測できる星の位置ですが。
Sorry again, just trying to get a swig of this good old water here. You know, not dehydrate or anything, not lose the voice. As she thinks back, she realizes that she's not once looked up at the sky before today. Her priority has always been winning the Holy Grail War, not reading fortunes in the stars. She knows that this isn't like her. Even so, she still considers trying to read the stars, and anxiously waits for night to come. This represents quite a change of heart for her. She chuckles, thinking she's just like the girls in love that she's read about in books before, as she looks up at the sky. Hello.
セイバー、シロがどこに行ったか知らない？
No idea.
リン。
Saber bolts upright.
なんでしょう。私は別にシロの軍門に下ったわけではありませんが。
I don't think anybody was talking about that here, but Saber gives a hasty excuse, blushing deeply.
あれ？もしかしてお邪魔だった？
Rin smiles wickedly. Perhaps it is because that they have been living under the same roof, but Rin can read Saber like a book. Shirou too, for that matter. Well, Shirou's easy. She has good instincts when it comes to other people's affairs, and she can tell that there's something between the two of them. And so she has a pretty clear idea of what happened the night before.
まあからかうのは後にしておいて、冗談抜きでシロを知らない？イリアの熱が上がってるみたいだからちょっと手伝ってもらおうと思ったんだけど。
イリアスピールが彼女の容体は落ち着いたのではないのですか？
I was actually thinking about her in the beginning of this episode, actually. Just wondering, you know, it's been a couple days almost, like, is she still struggling?
それがどうにもね。シロには黙ってたけど、あの子そろそろ限界よ。聖杯戦争っていう儀式が終わらない限り元には戻らない。あの子のキャパは破格だけど、それでももういっぱいなの。
What the fuck?
今はまだかろうじて容量が空いているから余分な機能が働いている。けど満ちてしまえば一番不要な人間としての機能を捨てるしかない。
What the
イリア
hell?
スフィールはね、聖杯戦争が進めば進むほど壊れていくように作られているのよ。
Rin's words are ominous, and even a bit, yeah, I don't know about that one. Of fussic, I have no idea what the fuck that word is, but Saber doesn't completely understand what she's talking about.
あ、
Sorry
いいのよ。
guys, fourth grade
今の
English
は分から
only.
ないように言ったんだから。イリアのことは置いておきましょう。それよりランサーのことだけどね。
Yeah, a little
あ
too
いつの
late
マス
here,
ター誰
Rin.
だか分かったんだけど。
Just slightly too late.
ランスターのマスターが判明したのですか？
うん、まあ分かったっていうか前から分かってたっていうか。実はね、ランサーのマスターは魔術協会から派遣された外来のマスターなのよ。それ自体はとっくに分かってて、ついさっきそいつのねぐらを見つけてきたんだけど。
リン、そのような危険なことは避けるべきです。敵の陣地が分かったのなら私に言ってくれればいい。
私だってそのつもりだったわよ。けどさ、外から様子を探ってたらどうもおかしいのよ。で、留守っぽいなって中に入ってみたら、あったのは血の跡とレイジュが亡くなった左腕だった。
What the hell?
それ以外は何もなかった。体ごとレイジュを奪われ、しかもあの出血量じゃ生存は絶望的でしょうね。
Oh.
ランサーのマスターはとっくにやられてたのよ。
Then who the fuck is Kodomine? Who is he?
ではランサーはすでにいないのですか？10日前シロを襲った後に他のサーバントに倒されたと。
だったらいいんだけどね。結婚はもっと前のものだった。これどういうことかわかる？
サーバントを倒さず先にマスターを倒した。そうしてマスターからレイジュを奪いランサーと契約したマスターがいる。ですが
残っているマスターは私とシロだけでしょ。けどランサーはまだ残っている。ってことはマスターじゃない魔術師がレイジを奪ってマスターになってるってことだけど、セイバー、そういうのってできるものなの？
いいえ、レイジュの移植はマスターかサーバント、そのどちらかによるものだけです。いかに優れた魔術師といえどレイジュを奪ったところでマスターにはなれません。
But what if it was a master from a previous war? So you have to be a master here in this war in order to participate. So if some wandering mage comes in and takes some command spells by ripping their fucking competitor's arm off or whatever, and and killing the master, of course, and takes over the contract, I mean, I can't be done. It just cannot be done. But what if the same person was a part of the Holy Grail War previously? They were in a prior one.
そう。じゃあもう一つ。マスターっていうのはさ、聖杯が消えてなくなってもレイジュが残っていて、かつサーバントさえ残っていればいつまでもマスターなの？
そうですね。リンの言う通りです。レイジュとサーバントさえ残っていれば聖杯戦争が終わったとしても。
Saber falls silent as she realizes what Rin is really asking.
ではリンは ランサーのマスターを殺し、ランサーと再契約したのはその。
ええ、それ以外ないと思う。そう思うとランサーの行動にも納得がいくのよ。あいつさ、他のサーバントの様子を探るのが役割みたいだったじゃない。戦えば自分の正体を明かしてしまうっていうのに、あいつは自分の正体を隠すでもなく他のサーバントにちょっかい出してた。それってつまりあいつは諜報専門だったってことでしょ。
同感です。私と戦った時も彼は最後まで戦わなかった。宝具を使った以上、見せた相手は倒すのが私たちの定石だというのに。
そう。だからランサーのマスターにはもう一人サーバントがいたのよ。ランサーに敵の正体を探らせておいて、その後に正体不明の戦闘性用のサーバントをぶつける。まあランサーにしてみればいい迷惑だったろうけど、6人のサーバント全員と戦ってその手口を調べ上げた上で主の元に帰るんだもの。
Yeah, what a lovely time.
6人全てと引き分けなんてある意味とんでもないやつよね、あいつ。
But it's the power that he has. It's what's being fed to him. Rin closes her mouth, lost in thought. As if following Rin, Saber suddenly feels a chill down her spine. Lancer's master has already been killed. This unidentified master uses a heroic spirit as strong as Lancer's solely for espionage. And just as that master seems to have expected, well, the only remaining servants are Lancer and Saber. If they face such a powerful enemy, then letting Shirou out on his own is dangerous even during the day. There were multiple enemies before, but now there are not many more enemies to defeat. If Shirou is the only one left to defeat, the enemy might not follow their earlier strategy.
リン、シローはどこに行ったのか知りませんか？
To the church. Now that she's had the thought, she can't stop worrying. Shirou cannot be left alone. Even now, her master may be in grave danger.
どうだろう。知らないから聞いたんだけど、
Yes,
もしかしたら
yes.
綺麗のとこかな。
Go there.
あいつ、この間も綺麗なんかに相談しに行ったんだし。
あの教会に？
何をセイバー、怖い顔して。琴峰教会に含むところでもあるの？
Actually, in the very beginning, she refused to enter the church.
いえ、そういうわけではないのですが。
That church is nothing but holy. Stagnant death and stagnant air linger in that place on par with Ryoto Temple. The moment she thinks Shirou might be in a place like that alone, an image of somewhere other than the Emiya house flashes through her mind. She stares into the distance, towards Kotomine's church on top of the hill. There's no time to delay. Saber leaps out into the yard and jumps into the wall.
ちょっとセイバー、いきなり何よ。
教会に向かいます。後のことは任せました、リン。
Yeah, whatever the rest means. Without looking back at Rin, Saber jumps off the wall. She moves with all the speed of a bullet fired from a gun. Yeah, she's fully powered up now. Holy shit, she's already here. She neither slows nor stops on her way to her destination. If anyone caught sight of her, she would look like nothing more than a gust of wind, a streak of silver and blue. The instant she reaches the top of the hill and catches sight of the enemy's territory, Saber armors herself and arms herself without a second thought. She decided to put on her armor once inside the church, but she couldn't help herself. The instant the church comes into view, her fury overtakes her, and she is armed and armored, there we go, without even truly thinking about it. Her chest burns. This nausea that she's been feeling isn't her own. The chill running down her spine is coming from her master. The hopeless scent of death reaches her nostrils. Why this is happening, she isn't sure. What she does know is that Shirou Emiya is on the verge of death. There is no time to waste. He is gravely injured and could die at any second. The pain and cold have morphed into an unbearable nausea that grips her whole body. And that is less than 1,000th of the pain Shirou feels. He's not going to make it. Even if she moves with godlike speed, he won't survive. Every second brings him closer to death, and she may arrive just in time to watch her master die. As soon as she imagines that scene, she feels all sense and reason flee her. All she can do is run to her master as fast as she can. If godlike speed will not bring her to him in time, then she must simply break even the laws of God. She struggles to control her anger as she glares at the church. The tightly shut church door offer no obstacle to her, simply blown wide open with the force of her approach. Rows of pews fail to even slow her down. She smashes through the chapel, passes through the courtyard, and rushes down the stairs leading to the basement. Behind her, the church is left in ruins. Saber is not usually so violent. For all she knows, she opened the door calmly. She may not even remember expending so much magical energy in her run through town. She simply could not control herself. So fast and out of control is she that she practically rolls down the stairs. Death closes in on all sides. When she finally sees what horrors the basement holds, her fury overwhelms her. Fury directed at herself and at the enemy responsible for this. She doesn't even hear Lancer's voice as he bars her path. All hope of control or restraint is gone. However much she might try, she can no longer control her strength. Her lord is somewhere in the darkness, in the back room. He is lying there face down at the center of a room peopled by living corpses. A pool of blood spreads out beneath him, and the sounds of his frantic breathing echo all the way to the sanctuary. He's alive. Relieved though she is, she shudders to think how long she had left him alone.
Shirou.
Saber enters the back room, but a guard blocks her way. Holding his long spear behind him, the blue spearman meets Saber's gaze fearlessly. She doesn't hear him, so she doesn't stop. His ability to insult Saber while parrying her attack is frankly impressive. Yeah, I'll give him that. Lancer manages to block Saber's surprise attack with his spear, but he can do nothing about the sheer strength behind it, and retreats back to the nearby wall. There's nothing in Saber's way now. She doesn't have time to deal with Lancer. Her master is on the verge of death, and she has to save him. Saber stops as she heads to the back.
それはどういう意味ですか、ランサー。
いや、何な。そいつの胸を串刺しにしたのは俺なんだが、実はこれは2度目でね。以前は確かに殺したってのに生きてやがったもんだからな。
貴様、シローにゲイボルクを使ったのか。
安心しろ。心臓は外してやった。だが呪いはそのままだぞ。セイバー。貴様とてこの槍の呪いは知っていよう。因果を逆転させる原因の槍。こいつの呪いを受けた者は、よっぽどの幸運がない限り、運命を変えられない。
Well, I don't know about luck, but Shirou definitely has avoided a fate that seemed like was pretty straightforward. Like, all right, stabbed, you're basically destined to die, but he always gets around it. I don't know if that's luck or just he's got some crazy shit going on.
まあ、単純に言ってしまえば、ゲイボルクによってつけられた傷は癒されることはない。呪いを受けた者は決して回復できず、死に至るまで傷を背負うことになる。この世に、この槍がある限りな。
Well, the objective is clear. At that moment, the air changes. A flicker of intelligence and reason lights in Saber's eyes.
ようやく理解できたか。そこの坊主を助けたいんだろう。ならまず、俺との決着をつけなくちゃな。
Unless he's bluffing about his weapon's ability here. Lancer's bestial bloodlust drives him forward into Saber's reach. He's deadly serious. But...
正気ですか、ランサー。この狭い室内で、僧兵であるあなたが剣士である私と戦うと。そのような愚行、あなたの考えとは思えない。今ならば見逃します。その槍を置いて去りなさい。このような不本意な戦いで、あなたの首を取る気はない。
それこそ愚行じゃねえのか。 一体どこの英霊が自分の相棒を置いてくってんだよ。俺は何も取引をするためにそいつを刺したわけじゃない。俺はな、お前と殺し合いをするためにここにいる。
He's not lying. Lancer has no intention of letting either of them leave alive. For him, this is the first and only battle where he can truly go all out. Lancer's wish is not for the Holy Grail. His wish is to fight a battle worthy of heroes. Such a simple wish, one any servant could always have granted, has been denied by him, or denied to him. So he has no intention of missing what may be his final chance, even in this situation, or even if the situation happens to be unfavorable.
いいでしょう。ならばその槍を見事叩き切って捨てるだけだ。
Saber readies her invisible air and faces the Blue Knight.
よく言った。白状するとな。貴様が最後に残ってくれて嬉しいぜ、セイバー!
Oh, it's fighting time now, gamers. It is time. But we're gonna experience all of that in the next episode. That is all I've got for this one. But I will read the servant data for Lancer. I mean, all that's really updated here, I'm sure. It's just that, yep, the master is indeed Kodomine. At least now it is. What a fucking episode, guys. It was just surprise after surprise. I didn't know what was going on. And I think there's still a lot of questions as to what could really be going on, but I don't know. We gotta wait and see how things are gonna play out here. I'm very curious about Ilya. That kind of, got hinted at us as to what is really going on with her. She is far from ordinary. We knew that, but there's something else going on with her. I'm sure that'll be explored on another route. And now we have Kodomine here with quite the surprise. But man, I don't know. I think we ignored Lancer just a bit too much. Though I will say, it is really cool that the first enemy that we came across in Lancer, the first one that we saw a battle with, we have now come to this point. Yet another match. He is such a great opponent in a way. Just because we can't get rid of him. You just can't. And he stayed hidden as long as he did. And now, here we are, right back to a fight with them. And we're gonna see how it goes down. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz. And again, I said this a few episodes ago, I'm still on temporary setups, as I said in the very beginning of this episode. I do not have all of my assets and stuff that I use typically for YouTube, so I can't, throw my regular graphics up on the screen to thank members and patrons yet, but I will probably get something made if I can't get to my regular stuff. We'll have to see what happens in the next few days, and then I'll probably come to a decision. So if you have signed up on Patreon or through a YouTube membership to get credited at the end of episodes, I will backdate it a little bit here to get you guys all fitted in here. I do apologize. Thank you again for all your support and patience. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy.